Hello and welcome back to another AP3 video. In today's video, we'll be going over AP government and we're going to do a Unit 2 review on the executive branch. So the first thing we're going to go over is how they implement their policy agenda. Now, every president comes in with a set of policies that they want to see enacted. Remember, Congress has the power to pass the laws, not the president or the executive branch. Now, they get their policy agenda enacted by formal and informal powers. So first, we're going to talk about informal powers. Now, president formal powers are stated in Article 2 of the Constitution. And the first one we're going to talk about, which has a lot of information, is going to be veto. Now, president has 10 days to sign a bill until its arrival. If a law doesn't go with the president's policy agenda, then they can veto it, basically meaning that a bill doesn't become a law. And one of three things happen. One, the bill can die. Two, the bill goes back to Congress and change the bill to make it palatable with the president. Basically, the whole process for bill starts again. And three, Congress can override veto with 2/3 vote in Congress. Now, president can exercise informal powers of veto, which president threatens a veto, which sends bill back to Congress to work the bill into something the president can sign. The president can also use the pocket veto. Pocket veto is basically that the president has 10 days to sign a law, and if it doesn't go with the president's policy agenda with less than 10 days left in the congressional session, they can do nothing and let it expire and bill becomes vetoed. But if there's more than 10 days left and the president doesn't sign it, the bill becomes a law. And now we're going to go over president also has informal powers with respect to foreign policy. And president is the commander-in-chief of the United States Armed Forces. And president can get into executive agreements with other heads of state. Think about it as a contract between a president and another president. And then now we're going to go over presidential informal powers. And the first thing we're going to go over is bargaining and persuasion. Now, the president has the nation's attention in a way that no other politician does. And they use the attention pursuing the people according to the executive policy agenda. And we have executive order. It's a direct from the president that has the force of federal law, but it's not actually a law. But that basically means the president directs the actions of the federal bureaucracy and the military, which the president does have the direct authority over. And then we have signing statement. So when signing a bill into law, the president can also issue a signing statement informing the nation how the executive branch interprets that, which does how the president intends to exercise it. And then we're going to have policy agenda can conflict with other agendas of other branches of government. And another thing is that the president can make federal appointments, but those appointments must be confirmed by the Senate, leading to tension. So, and there's a lot of them, so let's go over them. So president can appoint a cabinet. So a cabinet is a presidential team of advisors which lead each of the executive agencies. And Senate lets appointments through because the president is allowed to choose, but some can get a little bit scrappy. And the president can also appoint ambassadors to other countries, and the Senate just confirms it without much drama. And then we have White House staff is likewise appointed by the president, but it doesn't need Senate confirmation. But the one that leads to the most conflict is when there's an opening for a federal court nomination, specifically that's the Supreme Court nomination. And that's because judges, once appointed, hold position for their whole lives. Basically meaning if the president appoints a judge who's favorable to the presidential policy agenda, the judge can rule in line with the agenda for many years to come after the president isn't in office no more. So now we're going to go over expansion of power of the executive branch. So in Federalist 70, Hamilton argues that a single executive can act decisively, executive order checked by other countries, and whatever happens when any corruption happens or when the executive power uses too much power, corruption is more easily detected in a single executive because there's only one president. So if there's corruption, we can just blame one president instead of many presidents, which is the anti-federalists wanted. Because remember, the anti-federalists feared the expansion of their power. So again, Hamilton argues in Federalist 70 that a single executive or president can act decisively, executive order can be checked by other branches, and corruption is more easy to detect if there's only one president. Now, when it comes to expansion of power, FDR had a 4-year term, which led to the creation of the 22nd Amendment, which is the limit for the amount of presidential terms is 2 years terms in office or 8 years, because there's 4 years per term. And the last thing we're going to go over is presidential communication. Now, the power the president only has is the eyes and ears of the nation as they use that to their advantage. So the only power that president has that no other branch has is the eyes and ears of everybody or the people in the nation. And the term used comes from Teddy Roosevelt, who stated the presidency has a bully pulpit, which bully back then means excellent, not like being mean to somebody. And one way the president can make representatives in line with president's agenda is through the annual State of Union address to Congress. And this is everything that we need to know on Unit 2 when it comes to the executive branch. This is another AP3 video. Thank you for watching.